Hello and welcome to Delapre, the Happy Abbey, a series of conversations with local people about Delapre Abbey and how it links to the wellbeing of the community. My name's Laura Graham, I'm a Northampton-based freelance writer and community activist, and in this episode I talk to Councillor Anna King. Anna has been active in Northampton creating community events that bring people together for years. In fact, it was her love of community which took her into local politics. So I was really keen to hear Anna's take on how a place like Delapre can impact the wellbeing of residents. We recorded this episode before the local elections, so at the time of recording, she was the Conservative Cabinet Member for Community Engagement and Safety for the then Northampton Borough Council. In this episode, we talk about how the council helped to regenerate the Abbey, a brand new app for Northampton, and her top tips for looking after your wellbeing. So, hello Anna. It's really nice to see you. It's been such a long time since I've seen you, and we're in the Orangery, or what was the Orangery, so it's a bit of an echoey room. We're going to get a bit of background noise from people working in the background as well. But yeah, lovely to see you.
And you, Laura. And it has been a long time, although we have managed to keep up to date on emails and Facebook and Twitter and things like that, so that's been a great way of communicating. Yeah. Yes, lovely to see you in person.
Yeah. So I've got a few questions for you today, and we're, as I say, we're in the Orangery at Delapre. It's currently empty because we're recording this during lockdown. We're socially distanced, and we can see that there's been sort of a bit of work going on. We can't really see the outside, which is a bit annoying because the grounds are lovely, but you've been here most of the morning, haven't you? Yes. I got here early this morning to test out an app for the area, and yes, I've actually got soaking wet feet already. But we've had a lovely walk around the grounds. It's been very nice to be out and about. So many people around as well, mainly dog walking, but some people on their own, having a walk around, some having a run. So it's lovely to see people out and enjoying the lovely open spaces. And you're Northampton born and bred, are you?
I'm not actually.
You're not? You're
no.
Like me, you're an imposter.
I'm an imposter, but I think a lot of the imposters actually have more passion.
Yeah.
Which is quite strange. Yeah.
When did you move to Northampton?
I moved to Northampton when I was 10. I was born in Newmarket, and Mum and Dad split up. But Mum wanted to train to be a teacher, and Northampton University was one of the best places to study it. And my auntie lived here, so we moved to Northampton when I was 10, and it's been great. I love it here.
The rest is history.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Did you ever come to Delapre when you were younger? Did you sort of use the grounds and stuff?
We've always. Mum loves going out walking. She's probably here somewhere in the grounds anyway. She's here most days walking around with her guide dog. We've always been taken to lots of different places to explore, which I think is really great to do, especially with young people. It really infuses them and gets well-being and the sense of using the outdoor space from a young age into your brain to, make you physically active, really. And I think something like that when you're younger actually portrays right through until you're an adult. So it's really important.
Getting into the habit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that can be difficult to do, especially with English weather and all sorts of other, and getting kids away from their devices and stuff can be difficult.
Definitely, and that's why it's so important from the young age. And the app that I've told you I've been exploring this morning here.
Yeah, what can you say? Are you allowed to say it?
It's an app that was made for Northampton, so it's called Explore Northampton, and you can download it in your app Play Store. And there's been various ones on there. We had one made for Christmas, so it's all AR stuff. It's about people getting out into our natural habitat and exploring. It's all done on safe routes, and it's there for children to do with their families. But actually, the one I've just done today for Easter, I was so excited about it. It's got a little chick that talks to you and sings along. It's really, really amazing. And on that app as well, there's also the Walk in the Past, which covers lots of famous historical people from Northampton, including one up here as well at Delapre, which is Joan Wake, who was the record keeper's officer. And she did some most amazing work for Northampton and saved lots of things that probably would have been destroyed. So
really?
Worth downloading and have a look at Walk in the Past. Yeah.
That's really cool. So So we get to, with the app, we get to kind of learn about stuff as we go along, and then there's an interactive element, is there?
Yeah, so basically the local people play the character from the past, and so they'll pop up onto your phone and actually give you a brief bit of history as they were the person based on the past. Yeah.
I'm living for this already.
Okay. Try it. You have to try it.
And I think you'll probably be the same. We've all sort of discovered walking. One of the benefits of 2020 and COVID has been that we've been encouraged to go outside and walk. But, we've walked a few routes a few times, but something like this to jazz it up and sort of spice up your normal route would be really fun. So I think that's quite a sort of forward-thinking thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, and you don't have to do all of them in the same day because they're located across different parts of the town. So you can just explore one area one day and, just learn a bit about the history as well. So, hopefully there'll be more that we're going to continue to do to really represent Northampton, its wonderful history. There's so much stuff. Wherever you go, there's a story that can be told. And my overall aim is one day to have all of that available on augmented reality so everyone can be involved and pick up that information in a fun way.
Yeah, and it'd be good for visitors as well, because I think we focus on the community in Northampton, but actually, when we're able to sort of focus on tourism, that kind of stuff is really fun for people, going on a city break and being able to learn about the place that you're visiting in a really different way. I think that's another element for the app to be used. Yeah, so
we've got to be forward thinking, haven't we? And we've got so much here to offer in Northampton. It's about thinking ahead of a bit out of the box, ahead of the game, to try and entice people in further. And just by adding the apps, it might engage more younger people as well. It just gives a different element and a different type of offering.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. So just on that then, I'm interested to know, and I've been asking quite a few people about what they think the link with heritage sites like this, how does that link with wellbeing of the community? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
It's a very interesting question, isn't it? Because, I would say probably in the past, yourself and I were just saying actually that when we'd come into a venue like this, it would always be like, oh, don't touch, but we've been encouraged that we could actually touch a few things around, like a gong, which is highly exciting. It's the two different worlds meeting each other, isn't it? And again, moving forward, how the economy changes, how different offers are here for you. So you would never be able to come to a place such as Delapre, a stately home, and feel like you're really, really welcome to come in, but Delapre has that welcoming feel all the time. We've got the new Common Ground coffee shop there. Obviously the Orangery that we're sat in at the moment, which is shut, but that's just an amazing place to come to as well. And there's so many community events going on here as well. So it's about breaking down those barriers and it being accessible for all, which I think Delapre's really achieved over the last couple of years, and it's still going from strength to strength. Of course, they got the funding announced yesterday for the first wellbeing cafe, which is super exciting, and again puts us right up there on the map of things that we're doing to tackle social isolation, health and wellbeing, mental health issues, and also the green agenda as well, because it all kind of rolls into one.
Yeah, this is quite exciting. Yeah, there was an announcement yesterday about the first green Happy Cafe, which sounds really exciting because it's all about focusing on the wellbeing element, but sort of partnering that with the parkland space and getting outside and stuff as well. So that's going to be really cool. Obviously, the council, Northampton Borough Council, as it was, have played a big part in regenerating Delapre and making it accessible for everyone, because it was. Am I right in thinking it was a record store, like office, so it was just full of information, like paper-based information for a long time, wasn't it?
Exactly, and that's why, going back to the ghost app, the ghost of Jane Wake is actually at the front of this building, because it tells you about her involvement in protecting it all. Yeah, so it's got a massive history. And
the council obviously put some public money in to help with the regeneration, didn't it? Which I think was a really wise choice and something that the community really wanted. How do you feel like we've got our return on investment? Have we got that back, do you think?
I would say 110%. Yeah. When I came here before the restoration, it was several years before it started, it was to do some consultation work, and it was about involving the local forums. So I came here with the Northampton Borough Council Youth Forum, and we had a look around, and basically you had to be extremely careful where you could walk. We could only go into, I'd say, about 2% of the building. There was bats flying around.
Really?
Pigeons, very unsafe, very unloved, and very, very sad to see it in that kind of situation. If you step forward to now, like, the transformation is absolutely more than you could possibly even have thought of, and the way they've matched everything to the originals by using the fabrics and the paints and the wallpapers and trying to match it up as close as possible, it's just a huge, absolutely phenomenal piece of work that's been done, and definitely one of the biggest jewels that we have here in Northampton to celebrate.
Yeah, I think so too. We were just in the Hibiscus restaurant, which is also closed. Somebody was doing some restoration on the fireplace and kind of making all the tiles matching and stuff, and repainting a few bits, and there's quite a lot to it in sort of restoration terms. It's been a big project.
Yeah, I know, it's great to see things like that first-hand going on, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think, did she say that they used the original tiles, but I think there was a few missing, so she's now stenciling it on, and they're going to have paint it on. Yeah. She looked like she did a brilliant job. Well done, Harriet.
Exactly. And so if you come to Hibiscus for your dinner, have a look at the fireplace and see if you can spot which tiles aren't real. They're doing some great work. So what do you think you'd like to see Delapre do in the future? Because there's quite a lot going on and quite a few projects planned, but you've really got your finger on the pulse of Northampton community in your current role for the Borough Council. So what do you think visitors would like to see Delapre do in the future?
I think there is so much going on at the moment already, and the one really good thing about Happy Abbey is the way that they engage with the communities and find out what they actually want and how they can get involved. So, of course, they've got the kind of open-air acting stuff that's going to be coming up in the future, which is going to be amazing. At the moment, obviously, it's all working around COVID, so they've had the drive-through cinema, and that was really, really well received. So there's going to be another one planned of that.
Oh, great.
Also, the working with the Battlefield Society, massively important for this area, and they've really cherished that relationship, and they're building on that. I did hear something earlier, which might have just been a joke, about using scooters to go on tours, which, hey, it happens in other places, so why not here?
Yeah, we love those e-scooters. Yeah. I can just see people sort of, the sort of juxtaposition between this old ancient house and parkland, and then people whizzing round on these Voy electric scooters would be so much fun to see.
Definitely. Yeah. It's open to so much potential though, isn't it? And then of course you've got the walkway through to the university, which is so close, which means it's so accessible for students to come through as well.
Yeah, I didn't realise how close it actually was. Yeah. And I know that they're doing some work on sort of signage and making people understand what the walking routes and cycling routes are. Yeah. Which will really help, I think, because, you know, people don't want to get lost when they're walking.
No.
And also it'll just let us know sort of how far we're walking on a particular route. You know, if somebody wants to do a 5k or a 3k or something. So that would be really good. Yeah. What do you think your top 3 tips are to people for looking after their well-being? Have you got anything you've developed, especially through lockdown, that you would recommend people do?
Yeah, it's been a challenge for everybody, hasn't it? Yeah. The very first lockdown, I was on leave because I was due to go on holiday, and it got cancelled like 2 days before. And then my daughter had been told she had to stay at home because she was high risk because of her health problems. And so it was like blind panic. What on earth do we do? What's going to happen? I started frantically trying to order loads of inhalers and steroids and stuff off the internet for her in case she got ill. And there was a little tiny plastic bit missing out of her nebulizer. And I couldn't get this little plastic piece from anywhere, and just went into chaos. Did get it all sorted. Things calmed down a bit. Everyone steadily kind of started getting through lockdown, didn't they, and what it meant to them. But yeah, the very beginning was so scary for everybody. Now we're like a year in now. I think we've all learnt to deal with it a bit better. I know some people are still massively really struggling, but top 3 tips would be reach out to friends and family. If you don't have any or you feel like you haven't got any, there's lots of support services available. Please just look them up and speak to somebody. Do get yourself out in the fresh air, have a walk around. I know it might look dull and miserable outside, but actually just 10 minutes walking around the block might be really nice, and even just saying hello to someone on your way can really boost your mental health for the day. Number 3, just be careful about your eating and drinking. Make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids, lots of water, and just keep yourself happy, safe, and stay positive.
Those are really good tips. And eating and drinking, be careful on that. I must say I've been eating a little bit more than probably I need to during lockdown, because you just think that you can eat the same even though you're not as active as you used to be. So well, keep an eye on. I've been working throughout the whole of the pandemic as a key worker, but I work in retirement living, and everyone thinks it's extremely nice to bring us cakes, biscuits and chocolates every day. We're like, oh, okay, might be doing 12 to 20,000 steps per day, but you can still see I've been eating all the chocolates. Well, you deserve it because you've been working hard on supporting people, so, you know. I'm really interested to sort of know a bit more about your interest in community and sort of wellbeing, because that's your current role for the Borough Council, isn't it? What's your actual title?
So currently Cabinet Member for Community Engagement and Safety.
And what does that mean, just for anyone who doesn't know what that means?
It means if you've got a problem you can contact me. So overall it means community engagement side is really nurturing your communities and creating community cohesion. So we have a number of community forums, which are the LGBTQ forum, diverse communities, pensions forum, women's forum, forgotten one, youth forum.
Did you say diverse communities?
I said diverse communities at the beginning. Anyway, we've got lots of forums. If you want any information, you can go onto the website and have a look. And by the time the podcast goes out, it will be on West Northamptonshire Unitary's website. So take a look and see how you can join in with what we've got going on. There's lots of kind of strategic work. We do consultation work with the forums as well, but there's also the opportunity for you to shape what happens in your community and also help deliver events, which is really exciting. Lots of people love doing. So that's one element. I also oversee the events for the town, so working in partnership with the Indian Hindi Welfare Organisation for Diwali, working with the Carnival Consortium for Carnival. Oh God, the list is just endless. Christmas, Pride, stuff that takes part in the parks as well. Lots of, and then obviously the community safety stuff. I'm the chair of the Northampton Community Safety Partnership, also sit on the Police and Fire Commission panel, and everyday kind of safety stuff, safer routes, working with the uni. How
do you have time to do all this as well as working and having a family? It boggles my mind.
I like to be active.
Clearly.
And I have massive passion for it. I think you've got to have a big passion and drive for what you do. And like I said, and you said at the beginning, we weren't born in Northampton, and for some reason Northampton has become like my passion, and I absolutely love it. That's how I fit it in. It's a struggle some days, not going to lie.
I'd say so.
Especially currently at the moment, it's my day off today, so I'm doing council work all day. But normally I go to work in the daytime, I'll finish, and I've even started doing Zoom and Teams meetings on my mobile with headphones in until I get home to open my laptop up to start the next lot of Zoom meetings. So it's been quite crazy, but love it.
I just don't know how you do it. I think I'd just burn myself out. And I think that can happen a lot to people who are really sort of passionate about the community. They just you want to help and you want to do everything, and then you just kind of overwhelm yourself. How do you make sure you balance all of that stuff? You're
completely right. You do have to be extremely careful. About 10 years or so ago, I was actually on beta blockers, propranolol, because I did have anxiety attacks. But that's before I started my crazy my crazy long journey into politics, and actually for me, doing the job that I do now as a local councillor has actually helped me a lot. It's given me, I think it's more confidence to speak to people. It's actually let me kind of go on my own journey and help create better paths for community and help other people. So if you see people suffering, you want to try and help them, don't you? But yeah, I haven't been on the medication for 10 years, which is the time I've had the most stressful time probably with my council work. But they're different types of stress, aren't they? And this type of one releases the good endorphins and gives you positivity. Not every day, lots of days can be a struggle. It can be extremely hard work. Yeah, you just need to know when things are building up, take time for yourself. Only a couple of weeks ago I've been doing so many extra shifts at work because we'd had people off ill and COVID related issues, and so I did have to actually say at some point I can't do any more and just have a couple of days off, because you can feel yourself building up, not good. So good to try and recognise those points.
How did you get into politics? Because it always seems like something that perhaps women don't get into as much. Kind of how did that happen, and what attracted you?
Well, I like to say I was tricked, but I was tricked in a good way. So in the area I lived in at the time was Eastfield. So I'd become the chair of the Residents Association there, and I'd set up a youth club as well, and started doing some events with the committee, and the coffee shop there at the time used to be called the In Place, which was like one of the first actual community coffee shops, not there any longer, unfortunately, and Friends of Eastfield Park as well, which I'm still a committee member for. So we started putting on events in the park. So we did Easter at Eastfield, and then we'd do summer fun days, Christmas carol sing, all different things like that. And then I won the first Heart of the Community Award back in 2010, I think it was, when Councillor Michael Hill was the mayor. Thank you. And then I'd been working with some of the local councillors at the time in Eastfield, and then they'd said that they'd put my name forward to be considered. And I got a phone call and said, would you come in for a chat? So I went in and I was like, okay, sounds like something I'd really be interested in. And I think I had about a month, because it was very short notice before my first election. And literally just went massively campaigning, delivering, door knocking. And I got elected. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's a kind of accidental into politics.
Yeah, I know.
And it must be, from someone sort of on the outside looking in, it looks like politics, even local politics, can be quite a kind of sort of difficult place, because obviously you've got a lot of passionate people on different sides of opinions, and I know that the local politicians get a lot of pressure and a lot of flack from people, really, don't they? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, although there's all those highs I've spoken about, there can be massive lows as well. I've had to have injunctions on some people before. You do get massive bullying sometimes on Facebook and Twitter, especially if someone doesn't agree with not even your opinion. It's probably something that's had to have been decided because it's a statutory decision.
Yeah. And
actually, however much you think it's right or wrong, simply abiding by law and government, that is the decision that has to be taken. So it can be quite scary sometimes, but on whole, it's quite good. I get on really well with lots of my opposition councillors as well, and then obviously some others we don't see eye to eye, but that's never going to happen, and that would happen with some of your friends as well, wouldn't it, and people you've been to school with. It's just how life is, unfortunately. But in general, we all try and work together for the best of Northampton, and I like to think that most things we've done are positive for the town. There's so much to be worked on still, and I'm just so thankful that I've had the opportunity to do it. So if any women are thinking about going into politics, please give it a go. It does take up a lot of time, but if you've got the passion there for it, you're going to do well and you can make a difference.
Oh, it sounds like you've built up a good sense of resilience over the years, and a good balance with your working and stuff. But God, I take my hat off to you. I don't know how you do it, honestly. It's really good.
That's very modest of you though, Laura, because you're like so equally actively busy as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, but not. I don't know. It's not quite the same pressure, I wouldn't have thought, as being a politician. That feels a bit more an extra level of responsibility, I think.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So yeah, I mean, we've had a lovely chat today, and I'm really tempted to go off and find one of the gongs and give it a little gong.
Yes.
I think we should just run and do that.
They did say that we could.
We could touch anything, they said.
Anything.
I mean, yeah, it's been an absolute delight talking to you today. Thank you so much, and I'm really looking forward to having some of these big community events again at Delapre and other places around the town. And yeah, thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you, Laura.
So we've come back and we found the gong. We've got our masks on, and we've snuck in to where the gong was. So Anna, give it a good gong. Do you feel naughty?
I do a little bit, yeah. But it's okay, no one's around, so I think we're safe.
Dinner's served.
I feel like these pictures are looking at us.
They're watching us, aren't they? Huge thank you to Anna for taking part in the podcast. I really appreciate her giving up her time. She does a lot, balancing work, politics, family, and all of the community stuff that she's involved in. So I was really interested to talk to her and really grateful for her time. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and share, and look out for further episodes in this series. Thanks for listening.